Hi, I'm Elisa. I was going to share with you today that in the impending September 11th, 9/11 date in remembrance, I was asked what had occurred on that day and what I was doing. So I was going to share with you that memory. Sometimes when significant things happen in history, you often remember where you were. I remember that I had actually been, when I first found out it was through the radio, and I had actually been in the parking lot of the Kennebec Journal in Augusta, and we were, I was there, my mom was driving the car, and we were confirming that my wedding announcement, so to say that I had gotten married, the ad was being placed in the newspaper, and we were finalizing all those pieces, and my mother and I just sat next to each other. I was in the passenger seat, and I was just, I guess, stunned really, and kind of with just in awe really, and just didn't really know how to take it all in. And certainly it looks different when you're watching it on TV rather than listening to it on the radio. So we decided to drive back to my parents' house, and we put on the news, and of course every station there was broadcast and publication of what was going on. And at the time, I know a lot of people react differently to things, and everybody was making sure they were calling people, making sure they were okay, and have you heard, and what's going on. And at that point I was, my husband was in a training at the time, and so I didn't really have quick contact with him. And so I think in a situation like that, sometimes it just reminds you about slowing things down and how important family is. And I think that it was something that you'll never forget, and the images that were seen on TV are some of the things that have been really challenging, and then to go years later and be able to see where the actual towers were.
So do you want to actually now react to the video? Like watch the video?
I guess, yeah.
Hey.
It's just really sad, yeah. Are you right here on the screen?
Yep, right there on the screen.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, it just brings back everything, right?
Yeah. Alright, and here's the video.
In a second, that looks like a good-sized plane came in and hit the World Trade Center from the other
really,
side.
like,
So this is
horrific,
obviously, or it would seem to be, and again, I'm dealing in speculation, but it would seem like there is a concerted attack against one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
With knives or box cutters, that flight attendants had been injured or killed, that people had stormed the cockpit. We also learned that on one of the flights, the American Airlines flight that went into the World Trade Tower, the flight attendant was also able to tell the American Airlines Operations Center. She reached them and told them what was going on board.
We heard it, and because I was just like standing there pretty much looking out the window, I didn't see what caused it or if there was an impact.
So you have no idea right
I have
now?
another one.
Standard time, a plane crashes into one of the towers at the World Trade Center in New York. Some 18 minutes later, television viewers across the country watch in astonishment as a jetliner flies right into the second Trade Center tower. In Sarasota, Florida, President Bush calls the crashes an apparent terrorist attack.
Evidence, Ellie.
Alright, and
I just think that, it brings back, I mean, I have tears that I'm holding back because, I think that it would be hard to speak about it if I was crying. But it makes you empathetic in the way that you can understand, and it just takes you back to that moment in time. It was just horrific and really just indescribable, and not really understanding even some of the impact of what would happen after something like that occurred, and lots of different pieces to that. And really, it's not obviously a positive thing that it occurred. The thing that I also remember quite vividly, and I think was a pillar of strength, just to see how resilient people were and how much the human spirit is driven, and people really will just come together and be collaborative and supportive of each other and not even knowing each other and willing to help out and lend a hand for something that is just really indescribable and really puts the world in a different perspective.
Just tell me when you're ready for the next
About
video.
how you're gonna teach your children and talk to them and explain to them that the world is now a different place, and I feel like a lot of people say that. There's another video.
This is where the president was during the attack.
Good morning. The classroom was full of kids who were reading.
Read this word the fast way. Get ready. Mad. Yes, mad. Get ready. Cat. Yes, cat. Get ready.
And in the back of the classroom was a full press corps and staffers and some adults. And I'm intently listening to the lesson.
These words the fast way. Get ready. Mad. Yes, made.
And I felt a presence behind me. And Andy Card's Massachusetts accent was whispering in my ear, "A second plane has hit the second tower. America is under attack." My first reaction was anger, you know. Who the hell would do that to America? And then I immediately focused on the children and the contrast between the notion of an attack and the innocence of children clarified my job, and that's to protect people. Instantly after that, the press corps started getting the calls. And it was like watching a silent movie. In the back of the room, reporters were on their cell phones. They were getting the same message I got, which meant that a lot of people would be watching my reactions to this crisis. So I made the decision not to jump up immediately. I didn't want to, and leave the classroom. I didn't want to rattle the kids. I wanted to project a sense of calm. It was immediately escorted out of the classroom to the holding room and started making some phone calls and watched footage from New York City.
Major disaster in New York City this morning. Both towers of the World Trade Center have been hit by aircraft. Both are in flames. Both suffered explosions.
Obviously, I was horrified like everybody else, but unlike everybody else, I had a job to do at that particular moment. I'd been in enough crises as governor to know that the first thing the leader of an organization or state or country's got to do is project calm.
Alright, that was the end of that video.
Yeah, I think that that I don't even know honestly if I've ever watched that video or that part of it, that take on it, but really couldn't, or really never really taken the perspective of, well, if I was president I would have done this or I would have done that, and not really considered, I guess, that aspect of things. So that was an interesting take. I would agree that when you're in that kind of role and there's a crisis situation, that presenting yourself in a calm way is the best approach. And yeah, it's never going to be a day that will pass by without great thought and sadness, and I think a spirit of resiliency within the American people.
Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Alright, please give this video a thumbs up, and alright, thanks for watching. Anything else before we end the video?
Definitely like
it.
Hunter's YouTube video and follow him because he's a really passionate kid about what he does.
Alright, see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.